Hey, this is Surviving the Aftermath tips and tricks. There aren't very many, I do have a few though, so let's get started. On our first tip of the day, we have go to ideology when you're starting your game, and I recommend you pick the basic survival skills. This is the hands down the best one to take because you can get that 100% faster harvest on your crops, which is very important because all your crops will get destroyed on disasters and if they don't have enough time to actually harvest them. So that is the key feature for this, and it has all the other basic things that you need to start with. So I recommend this right here. When you're first starting out, I recommend you take your specialists and go around and collect things like the wood piles and berry bushes that are near these pollution piles. So your people don't have to do that themselves and become sick. You don't want them to get sick just collecting wood and stuff like that, so leave that for those guys. I also recommend taking them around your explored area and looking for wildlife, and I got some wildlife here dead. Take them around together and kill off all the wildlife you can, and then you can use them to harvest their meat. These guys are really fast at harvesting this, and you can't even access the overworld map yet until you build your gate. And I also recommend before you build your gate, make sure you have a couple extra tents set up first because you're going to get new survivors coming in, and build a couple scout towers nearby because there are random events where guys are going to come attack you. And of course, try and get one hospital built right away too. And of course, the plastic recycling area. You want to get one recycler out and ready to go. You need these basic tools to actually get enough resources to build your wall. And you want to get your wall done as fast as possible. So once you get your gate done here, then your specialists can start leaving the map and going to the overworld and collecting their research points. Like when you first start, you won't see it on my map now, but when you first start, there is a research depot in your starting area that has 500 research. This one here has 316, and you take damage doing it. So I recommend you go out there and get that 500 research right away to start researching. A good thing to remember about your specialists, they do their job every 12 hours. So on your first 12 hours, you should click on your researcher here and you can cancel their mission. It's like on the first 12 hours, she collected her 250 research points. You can cancel the mission and collect the reward. And then just put her back there again. Now you have your research to get started. So this will give you a nice little 12-hour boost on your research time. I know it's a little bit small, but the other thing you can notice too, this guy here, he collected 16 tools in his in his 12 hours, but there's just one tool left. He's wasting his skill. He's like really good scavenger here, but so he's wasting his time collecting one tool. Anybody can do that on their free time, and since he's your best scavenger right now for my guy, I can reassign him to something else, and then make the best use of my guys at the start of the game. When trying to decide what research you want to take first, keep in mind you want to be trading with other colonies right away to get some money because you get those random specialists every 4 turns. So every 4 days you're going to get that specialist, and you need the money to be able to do that. So I would recommend for your first thing to learn is go straight to bartering and then learn this one right away. So cue that one up right away is the first thing I'd learn. Then I'd go find out where the where is it? There it is, Frontier Outpost. Then I'd go and research this one here and build that building. Specialists that come every 4 days are random. So make sure you save the game before you click on this button to get him available to hire, and make sure you have at least 1,000 coins ready to go before you click on them. There's no point in clicking on them and you don't have the money to hire the guy, now is there? So you click on them, and if you don't like them, like this is one of the ones you can start with. She's pretty bad. I don't want another bad character. I already have researchers. I don't want them. So what you do then is you reload the game and you'll have a different random character there. I have reloaded. So now let's see what specialist I get this time. Another scientist. Whoa, look at this one. 350. That's the best you can get. Salvage 150. She is useful on many fronts. Her damage is kind of weak, but at least she can move across the map, and she costs 700. So the best I've seen is 900 for a recruit, but this one is pretty good. This will replace the other scientists I have at, the 250. So I think I might recruit her, but that is how you get a better specialist. The random disasters can be really annoying if you're not prepared for them. I recommend you build a whole bunch of healer huts so you have them ready to go, just in case of an emergency, and to have a whole bunch of extra water, because if they're sick, they're going to use lots of water, and there's other events that take a lot of water. And I've had no issue with using just a plain old water well. So I recommend you go around your map and you place these wells wherever you possibly can, but you don't have to build them right away. Just place them in the most advantageous position you can find. Like, try and get a plus 12, and if you can't, just work your way down. I kind of stop at plus 8 because I don't want to go like overkill on them all. And then after you place them, just put a pause to their build. So now you have it all done, and all your scouted area is set up for water in case you need to get more water later on, and you don't have to keep going back and forth and, hey, where are we going to place this well? You've already done it, and your wells are ready to go, and then you can decide whether, well, I don't want to start this well here because it's right near the pollution. So you can pick and choose things like that later on, and they'll be easy to find with a nice big pause button stuck on them. So these are things I recommend you to do to prepare for these disasters. If you want a cheap way to scout out new territory on your map here, and you don't want to build your scout towers and stuff like that, you can just use your campsite. You can destroy your campsite at any time, and you can build a new one. Of course, all your goods in your campsite will be dropped, and your people will have to pick them up and put them in storage areas that are nearby. So make sure you have storage areas nearby your campsite. But once you destroy your campsite, you can build it anywhere around the map beside an out-scouted zone. And this acts as a scout tower. As you can see, it's scouting right now. So as I sit here in scouts, it will scout out the area, and it was free to build. And you can destroy this again and build it free again. So if you're desperate and you want to scout out your map, to do it simply at the start, you can just use your basic thing here. Make sure you have some specialists handy and nearby in case you uncover bugs like this, because they might attack your campsite here, and you might die and lose the game. So it's just, fair warning. But yeah, you can use this to start scouting out your map as much as you want. It doesn't take any people to do it. It just automatically scouts out the area, and it's free to do. Free and fast. You just need to build it or come and build it for you. One thing to remember is your specialist on the world map can actually take on these guys more than one at a time. So you don't have to worry about one-on-one fights. You can bring in 2 or 3 specialists and attack the guy at the same time, just so you know. Little tip there on saving yourself some health. Now lastly, all of these research areas, when you get your settlers out there, you're going to want to get some free research going. Don't do a research on an 8 out of 12 hours. There are 16 out of 12 hours, and there are 32 in 12 hours. So you'd rather get to 32 if you can. But if you don't find any nearby and you have your settlers, go for the 16 over the 8. Just remember that for your settlers, not all of these research outposts can be the same. And that is it for all the tips and tricks that I know of for this game. So thanks for watching.